Hello, everyone. I hope you're all having a great day. So today we're going to be going over the autonomic nervous system and the differences between the parasympathetic and sympathetic division using 3D or Gannon anatomy here. So this is a nice way to be able to see these divisions in a 3D aspect, as we don't have a great model in the lab for this. So this shows it quite well. And mainly I want to show you where it originates and the sympathetic trunk is and so forth. Remember, parasympathetic division, let's throw the sensory information on here. I know it looks weird with the eyes, but here, remember, parasympathetic is above or next to the sympathetic. So parasympathetic is up here. So 4 of the cranial nerves are actually part of the parasympathetic system. So some of those are going to the eye. If we show the eye muscles around here, we don't want to show that many muscles. We can see the strap-like muscles around the eye, so some of those are innervated by the parasympathetic division for iris constriction and dilation. And then the other important one of this system is the vagus nerve, or cranial nerve 10. So that one then comes down, and that's an important part of the parasympathetic division. Let's see if I can find it here. That's the phrenic. There it is. The vagus nerve. So remember, this one originates up here. This is nerve 10, cranial nerve 10, and we're following it all the way down through here. So any parasympathetic or rest or digest features below the neck, so in the thoracic and pelvic region, is innervated by this vagus nerve. Very, very important nerve in this process. The other parts of the parasympathetic division are down in the sacral region down here. So they're leaving it out in the sacral plexus, going to things like the bladder and the genitals. So some other common features of the parasympathetic nervous system, they have long preganglionic fibers and short postganglionic fibers. So usually those ganglions are directly on the organ they're innervating. So a big difference there between the two, and all of those release acetylcholine as well. So acetylcholine, remember, can be excitatory or inhibitory. All right, so that's parasympathetic. Next ones are the sympathetic, and we can see those here going up and down alongside the spinal cord. If we throw in the skeletal system, we can see the sympathetic trunk in here. Remember, this is called the thoracolumbar division. So it's in the thoracic and lumbar division, whereas the parasympathetic is known as a cranial sacral division. So all of these little spots, these ganglia right here, are part of the sympathetic trunk. So let's say we're a signal coming out from, let's see, which one is this? T3 spinal nerve. So we come out the ventral root, the motor signal comes out the ventral root, and then right here, you can't tell the difference between these two, but these are the little ramus communicans. So remember, the signal comes out. The white ramus communicans can synapse in a sympathetic chain ganglia. That's one thing it can do, and then go right back out. It can ascend or descend, or it can exit and go out to a collateral ganglia. Now, this model or this program doesn't show any collateral ganglia, unfortunately. So remember, collateral ganglia are down here in the abdominopelvic region. It's just this one doesn't show any out there. But there are, I think, 23 sympathetic trunk ganglia, if I remember correctly. So again, they can come out, they go out through, so they are short preganglionic fibers. So out through the ventral root here, out the white ramus. So those are myelinated. It can, let's say, synapsing here, then goes out the gray ramus communicans, and then back out to the effector of where it's going. But it can ascend, descend, or go through the collateral ganglia. So again, that's really neat here with the sympathetic system. If we come up here, there is one that's an important one. So here we see the superior cervical ganglion. There's also inferior and so forth, but this is the important superior ganglia. So if we look at this one, I know it's messy in this region, but here we have the sympathetic trunk. So let's say you need to have something go up to your head as a sympathetic response, such as pupils, controlling your pupils, or sweat, or anything like that. You have to, the signal starts down here, because the sympathetic division is only thoracolumbar. Then we come up to sympathetic trunk. We can then innervate in this cervical ganglia and then go up through the rest of the body up here. So here you can see part of the division goes right up to the eye, and that's why I put the eye here. So there's another little ganglia. It's called the sphenopalatine ganglia, and then that can come up into this region here. There's a left and right division. So these are multiple ganglia that can move up through here. So then if we look at this more, that's where that one goes, and there are some other branches that can occur from it too. But that's how you get your sympathetic division up to your head region. Usually you have to go through this superior cervical ganglia. So if we continue down the trunk here, there's also some other, there's a middle cervical ganglia as well. There's an inferior cervical ganglia. Sometimes this one's referred to as the stellate ganglion as well. And then from that one down inferiorly, then they are all just called sympathetic chain ganglia. So pretty neat. And then we have the 23 coming down here. And then you also have some sacral ones as well, still known as that. And then down here we have the little coccygeal nerve connected to the last little ganglia connection here, which is called the ganglion impar. But you don't have to need to know that one, just interesting food for thought. And then here's that cauda equina again, where all these roots extend down through. But yeah, not a whole lot to talk about in this one here. Mainly the differences between the parasympathetic and sympathetic are important. Sympathetic have short preganglionic neurons that all release acetylcholine. The postganglionic neurons all release norepinephrine. They are longer, but they are non-myelinated. I said they all release acetylcholine for the postganglionic neurons. All release norepinephrine, sorry. All release norepinephrine except one releases acetylcholine, and those are the sweat glands. So those are the key differences. Make sure you study this and combine the lecture portion and that one important image that compares somatic motor neurons, sympathetic and parasympathetic divisions, and make sure you understand the differences between preganglionic, postganglionic, what releases acetylcholine, what releases norepinephrine. But again, that's all I have for this. I just wanted to show you the 3D representation of these sympathetic and parasympathetic neurons on the model here. But that's all I have. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, but I hope you all have a great day, and bye-bye.